Video game vinyl has really been on the rise lately. In my opinion, it's really exploded over the last couple of years. So I wanted to come on today and make this video talking about video game music vinyl, share some of the vinyls in my collection, talk about how it's been growing, some of the different prices. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to do an unboxing for a couple new video game vinyls that just came in the mail. So stick around for that. But I wanted to start this video with this vinyl here, the Super Mario World vinyl, because I think it's an important one and it kind of shows the current state of video game music vinyl and how it's been growing. So, this is a vinyl that came out last year from Nintendo. And that's pretty important because Nintendo has been missing from the vinyl scene for quite some time. So, from my understanding, they were making vinyls back in the 80s, in Japan. And sometime around the 90s, early 2000s, they kind of got out of vinyl printing. And just recently, now in the 2020s, they're making their return with this vinyl here. And this is a Super Mario Collection vinyl. So it has music from, the original Mario games, Mario 1, 2, 3, Super Mario 1, 2, 3, as well as Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, as well as some other, music and sound effects on the vinyl. So it's a pretty big collection. There's about 170 plus tracks on it, spanning a few different vinyl discs in here. So this kind of goes to show how vinyl's really been blowing up in the video game space. And there seems to be, a growing community. It's a bit niche still, but there's a lot of people jumping into the video game vinyl community and market. And it's really interesting to see Nintendo jumping in as well. And that's a great thing because Nintendo makes some really awesome games and music. And of course, Super Mario World was a staple game from my childhood. So that was something I definitely wanted to pick up. One, because I love a lot of the music in those Mario games, but two, just as kind of a collection piece and a memory to my childhood of owning and playing Super Mario, all the different Mario games while I was young. So that just goes to show that sort of the vinyl market's really been blowing up. Even Nintendo's jumping into the market. And what else is very interesting is that they are going to be releasing an an 8 LP vinyl collection for Zelda Breath of the Wild. And that's coming later this year, I think June 2026. So they're going to be continuing to put out vinyl. And again, the fact that Nintendo's jumping into the scene now just goes to show that there is a pretty big market for this stuff and it is continuing to grow. But on the downside, these Nintendo vinyls definitely hurt your wallet. They're not very cheap. And Nintendo, of course, likes to price things pretty high. So that is something you got to be aware of. But let's take a look at another one in my collection, another favorite. This one right here, the Grandia Memorial soundtrack. So this is a collection of the vinyl of the music from Grandia, classic PS1 RPG, one of my favorite RPGs, but also just one of the best soundtracks for an RPG in my opinion. Really love the music here. And this was put out by Wayo Records, if I'm saying that right. And this is an awesome collection. So let me open this up and just show you a little bit what this looks like in here. And there's a number of different LPs in here. I think it might be 4 LP collection, but each one is in a beautiful case like this. So you get some awesome artwork. You have the music on the back, the records on each side. But again, just awesome artwork for Grandia. Great game. Let's see, the vinyls themselves are in this Grandia green teal color. So all just really awesome stuff. And again, one of my favorite in the collection. The other cool thing with this one here is that you also get this little booklet here, which I guess is just kind of tells you all the different music in this, but it's also some artwork, the story of Grandia. Let's see if I can share this better. So you have some artwork there, a little bit of notes, a little bit of information about the story of Grandia. So you do get a little bit more than just the music in some of these collections, which is awesome. Take a look at this page. This is awesome. So here you have all the characters in Grandia laid out. So for me, as someone who's really a fan of RPGs and a fan of Grandia, having something like this in the collection is awesome because one, you get to relive, re-listen to all the music whenever you want, but you also get these kind of collector's pieces, things that, there's not too much Grandia stuff out there you can buy. So being able to get the vinyl, the music, that in my opinion is pretty cool. So let's keep going on to the next one. Next up, we have Castlevania Rondo of Blood. So an old school Castlevania game, I think first released on the PC Engine or the Turbo Graphics, and awesome soundtrack on this one. A lot different than the other two I shared. Bit more rock and roll themed music on some of these soundtracks here, but this one's awesome. And this was released by Mondo, and Mondo does a lot of retro video game vinyl, and they do really great work. Vinyls themselves are awesome, play awesome, look awesome. Take a look at that cover artwork. And let me take this one out, just show you what the inner sleeve looks like here. So take a look at this artwork. So tell me that's not nice. Really great looking. And just another awesome vinyl, awesome collection here. And just a great one to have in the collection because again, really enjoy the music for Castlevania, Rondo of Blood. And the last one I want to show here before we do the unboxing is not an official release. So this is called Zelda and Chill, and this is a lo-fi Zelda, I guess, remix vinyl. So this is created by Mickle and DJ. Let's see, DJ Cutman, mastered by DJ Cutman. So this is basically like a set of different Zelda music tracks that have been remixed to kind of have a more hip hop vibe. And you can find this music on YouTube. Give it a listen. It's really good if you like Zelda music. This is something I would just play, for example, in the background while I'm working or doing something, doing some kind of work. Just kind of low stress, easy to listen to music, really catchy, really brings you back to that Zelda era. So there's a lot of different directions, places you can go when it comes with video game music vinyl. And I'm still learning. I've only been kind of collecting, buying stuff for the last couple years, but it is really growing. Like you see AAA publishers putting out vinyls now for their music, and then you even see indie games putting out vinyl records for their music. So it's really growing. You can find almost anything you want. The one thing I will say though is that if you miss a release, like these vinyl prices tend to explode. And to give you an example, I was just looking the other day to pick up the Final Fantasy VII remake vinyl because really enjoyed that game, really liked the music, and that vinyl was released quite a while ago. So I was looking to pick one up, and they're going now for like 500 bucks Canadian. So these prices really explode if you miss a release. Sometimes they do reprints, sometimes they don't, but I will say in general, it is a pretty expensive hobby to get into, so keep that in mind. But I try to keep my collection pretty small, just get the things that I'm really interested in and that I really want. So I've got a bunch more in the collection I'm not going to show today, but I'm going to do a quick unboxing for a couple new vinyls that came in the mail recently. All right, so let's open up this package. We'll take a look at a couple new vinyls I picked up from Laced Records. So Laced Records is a website you can go to buy a lot of these different kind of video game vinyls. They're pretty good in my opinion. So I'm just gonna open this up and show you guys what I got here. All right, the unboxing has begun, and we got a lot of foam. First off, all right, let's start with the smaller one first. So I picked up the Silent Hill 2 vinyl, and this is a game that I missed back on the PS1, so never played it. But fortunately, they did the remake. I picked it up on the PS5, played through the game there. Really loved it, and the soundtrack really surprised me. It didn't have the kind of soundtrack I would have expected for a game like this, a more horror-themed game, but I found the soundtrack was really good. Really loved the game. So I wanted to pick this one up here. So this is going to be a pleasure to listen to. On the back it says, "In my restless dreams, I see that town." Check that out. So this is pretty awesome. Released by Konami and manufactured by Laced Records. Great one to add to the collection. And this is a big one. So this one here is a pretty big LP collection of Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And this is what I was saying when the video game music vinyl scene has really been exploding. Like, we're getting vinyls for all sorts of games. And this was a game that really surprised me, caught me off guard. I didn't know much about it when it released, but of course, there was so much hype around this game after it released that I went and picked it up, played through it. Just a great RPG, but the music in this was very unique, right? Very French themed to go along with the rest of the game. And this is a collection here with, let's see, I suppose, six LPs. Yep, six discs. So a lot of music on here, and there's different, when it comes to music like this, they often put out a smaller LP size and a larger one. So this was the six disc collection, but I think they also put out like a 2 LP Clear Obscure Music vinyl collection. So you can often get sort of bigger or smaller versions with more or less music, depending what you want, how much you're willing to spend. But I had to go with the big boy here. So happy to add the Clear Obscure vinyl collection to my collection. So this one's going to be a joy to listen to as well. So that's it. Just wanted to come on, shed some light on the current state of video game music vinyl collecting. And again, like pretty much any kind of games you're into, if you take a look, there's a lot of vinyl out there. You can probably find your favorite soundtracks, but if they're retro games, if they're old vinyls that have been released quite some time ago, you may be paying a pretty high price for that. So just keep that in mind. But that's it. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Do you have any video game vinyls? Let me know what your favorites are. And also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you let me know. I have a bunch more in my collection that I'd be happy to show if people are interested. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video and have a good day.